Tonight on Coyote News, the long-awaited rivalry game between USD and SDSU is fast approaching, and we have all the pregame information you need to know before the Yotes face the Rabbits Saturday in the Dakota Dome. I'm Taylor Moore.
And I'm Courtney Sterrett. Following an announcement from the United States Army, USD's ROTC program will not shut down in 2015, and a look at the campus-wide smoking ban nearly 1 year after going into effect.
Plus, the women's basketball team splits a pair in California, and sports commentator Malachi Peterson is excited to experience the USD-SDSU rivalry. But first, the headlines with Caitlin Steffel.
Snapchat has refused an offer from Facebook. The mobile messaging application received an offer from the social media conglomerate to buy Snapchat for $3 billion. Facebook representatives reached out to Snapchat in recent weeks to discuss the all-cash deal, which would have been Facebook's largest acquisition ever. Snapchat allows its users to send photo and video messages that then disappear moments later. Mobster James Whitey Bulger is being sentenced today for his conviction of 11 murders and numerous other crimes. Family and friends of his victims spoke at the sentencing, with many describing him as a domestic terrorist and Satan. Bulger was emotionless through much of his trial and declined to speak at his sentencing. Prosecutors in the case are seeking 2 life sentences. And those are your headlines.
The Cross Media Council premieres its Coyotes vs. Jackrabbits pregame special tonight, immediately following Coyote News. The 30-minute special is an analysis of the USD-SDSU matchup on Saturday, with interviews with USD head coach Joe Glenn and offensive coordinator Wesley Bashaner. Plus, hear from quarterback Kevin Earl and linebacker Tyler Starr, and sports reporters Grant Boziacki and Nathan Poole. Here's a peek at what Coach Joe Glenn has to say about the big game.
It's going to be a hard-fought game, there's no doubt, and we're much better than we were a year ago. I think the Jacks are about as close to where they were a year ago, which was a playoff team. They've got to beat us probably to make the playoffs, so they've got a lot to play for, and we're trying to catch up. We're trying to get caught up in this Missouri Valley Football Conference. So,
the Coyotes vs. Jacks pregame special airs tonight right after Coyote News, with encore presentations tomorrow night and Friday here on Cable Channel 21.
Walking home from the library at night may feel scary and uncomfortable. As Coyote News' Mackenzie Shaw-Benter reports, USD has superheroes that will help you get home safely. They're called UPD.
We do have an escort program here at the University Police Department. People can call our office and request an escort from one campus location to another. They just call our office and they give us some basic information, and then we'll meet up with them and then walk them to wherever they need to go. It's always available anytime from dusk till dawn, 24/7.
For those who do walk alone at night, the blue light system is an option for those students if they ever feel like they need someone's help.
We have 4 blue light phones on campus right now. There's one out by the dome, there's one in lot 13 behind the North Complex, there's one over in lot 9 by Burgess Norton, and then there's one over in lot 8, which used to be Julian Brickman. There's a big blue pole with a big red button on it. That's what they're for, is emergency situations. Somebody can walk up to it and press the red button. It goes right to our office, and there's a video feed on it as well so that we can see what's going on.
Although UPD has an escort program and a blue light system, most students are unaware that they are offered by the university.
Well, I haven't heard about it, so maybe they can do a better job of informing students about that option, because I don't know about it, so I'm guessing a lot of other people don't either.
Because UPD safety programs are not well known, they are implementing the House on Lays program.
I don't think a lot of people do know that we have an escort program. It's not something we advertise for necessarily. So we're trying to get better with that, because we realize it's something we haven't necessarily done a real good job of. So we're going to try and get into the dorms as much as possible and educate the students on some of the things that we do and some of the programs that we offer. We'll do safety talks whenever we're requested. So it's something that we're working on.
For Coyote News, I'm Mackenzie Schaff-Benter.
And now Coyote News wants to know, do you feel safe on campus? What suggestions do you have for UPD to make students feel more protected? Is there an area of campus you think should have more lighting or safety features? Comment on our Facebook page or tweet us at Coyote News. We'll share some of your responses at the end of the newscast. Coming up after the break, after an announcement from the U.S. Army, the closure of USD's ROTC program is being suspended. And does the use of Campus Flex dollars lead to poor budgeting decisions as students grow older? Stay with us.
Volunteer organization on campus is planning for a trip to Tanzania, Africa. AWOL gives students the opportunity to travel throughout the country and around the world. Participants volunteer to give up their school breaks to engage in service projects to assist.
We all started going on
community
international trips in 2009, and since then they've only gone to Central America. So we're looking to expand the program. We're hoping to get 10 to 14 people. We'll be working with infrastructure, so we'll be building necessary buildings, roads, stuff like that, and then we'll also be working with a local orphanage, as well as learning about women's issues while we're over there.
AWOL students have traveled to 8 states and even as far as Nicaragua to help those in need.
It's a week where you can get away from school and go dedicate your time to another community, and it sounded like something that I'd be interested in, and once I experienced it, I really fell in love with it and decided to become a site leader.
AWOL is still accepting applications for their trip to Tanzania, which is scheduled for late summer 2014. Earlier this fall, USD's ROTC program announced it was shutting down in 2015, along with 12 other university programs across the country. But now that decision has been delayed by the U.S. Army, and these 13 programs are currently on a probationary status. Coyote News' Nicole Griffith is live in the muck with Cadet Battalion Commander Josh Wallace to discuss what this means for members of ROTC. Nicole.
Thanks, Taylor. USD's ROTC's program was on its way out, but is not anymore. We're here to get a member's view on the status. Thank you, Josh, for being with me today. What brought about the reversal, and was anyone lobbying to keep the program on campus?
Well, there were a number of people lobbying and trying to get the program to stay. The biggest force was the cadets themselves and our cadre, the people and instructors that run the ROTC here. Also, President Abbott was a big advocate in our staying here on campus.
What was the reaction with the members in the program when they found out they were not being cut?
When they found out, they were very excited for the opportunity to stay, and are really looking forward going on and meeting the Army's mission of getting a certain number of commissioned officers throughout the next 2 years.
With the program being on again, off again, what future plans do you have? Like, will it be cut, or is the program here to stay?
Well, the Army is looking at us right now. What they're doing is they're examining us for the next 2 years to see how many officers come out of USD, and with that, they'll make a determination 2 years from now if we are a viable school for keeping an ROTC program.
All right, well, thank you. Once again, that was Josh Wallace of USD's ROTC program. Live in the muck, I'm Nicole Griffith.
Freshmen on campus are required to purchase a meal plan through the university, and most of these plans use flex dollars. Some students don't even consider it as real currency and have given it the nickname Monopoly money. Coyote News' Chris Mosier has the details on how this type of meal plan could affect students' budgeting decisions later on in life.
Every day, students head to the muck to purchase their meals and other food items to get them through the day. I asked students how long it takes them to go through their non-refundable flex dollars.
Right now, I have about 15 meals left in Commons, so I'm way ahead of it. And I don't know how many flex dollars I have, but I usually go Commons and then to the muck and use my flex dollars.
I don't know, this is the first year I've gotten all flex, and I have not through it yet. I think I still have like $350 left, so I've been trying to space it out as much as possible.
Yeah, they're going a little faster than I originally thought they would, so maybe some careful planning would help in the future.
Although flex dollars transfers over from the fall to spring semester, students still feel the urge to spend it all before the time is up. This could cause students to not care how much items cost as long as their budget is used up by the end of the spring.
Yeah, because no one looks for the deals. Even though milk costs more here than at Walmart, people still think that it's a better deal because you have the flex money.
So could the pressure of using up flex dollars by the end of the semester also cause bad budgeting skills in students?
Yeah, probably, because if it was real money, you probably wouldn't even be blowing through it as much. But since you can only spend it on campus, I think people tend to just blow it away like it's not real because they can't use it anywhere else.
No, because you gotta plan your flex just like you would plan money on a debit or credit card, and plan it out in the future so you don't run out.
For Coyote News, I'm Chris Mosier.
On this week's blog, Chuck Gresser discusses the holidays we should and shouldn't celebrate.
Good evening, Siouxland, and thanks for tuning in. Well, folks, Veterans Day has passed. I hope you all enjoyed your day off. Even I forget from time to time that it's not a day to celebrate myself, even though I am a veteran at taking a day off. I just wonder how many of you really care as to why you got the day off. We all know it's the day we give to honor and commemorate those who serve in the armed forces, both past and present. But does it require a whole day? Why do all the civilians get a day off, when after all, we only enjoy holidays after all the hard work and sacrifice of our veterans? I know there are plenty of holidays we probably didn't need to nationally recognize, but there are some things you just can't change. Even though I sometimes feel like these holidays are a waste, I realize it's actually good for us to give each day a special meaning. There are holidays like Halloween, Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, and especially Christmas and New Year's that will never be done away with in American society. We anticipate these days on the calendar, getting those butterflies in our stomachs, and wait for our day off, or the nearest weekend, so we can go celebrate the American way, getting drunk on watered-down beer. Then there are days like Thanksgiving, Veterans Day, Independence Day, and Columbus Day, or Native American Day if you live in a state like South Dakota, which act as sobriety anchors, bringing us back to the reality of the price of the freedom we all share today. There are other days yet that have not garnered enough support to get the national recognition I think they deserve. What about Opening Day or Super Bowl Sunday? These days actually mean something to the large majority of our population, unlike the holidays that have lost their true meaning and have instead become traditional or customary. When was the last time you heard someone say, "Hey, what are you guys doing to celebrate National Cat Day?" I bet it's been a while. I don't mean to slight Veterans Day in the least. It's one of the few holidays I actually take pride in celebrating. And by celebrating, I mean sleeping all day, because I love those people out there who made sure I can sleep soundly through the night without having to worry if my home will still be there tomorrow. Thank you, veterans. As for you civilians, how about you get back to work already? For Coyote Blog, I'm Chuck Gresser, checking out.
Coming up after the break, after almost 1 year of enforcement, find out how the smoking ban is affecting students. Plus, learn how students can protect their valuables from possible damage in the dorms. Stay tuned. Many students come to college with pricey items, such as iPods, laptops, and even expensive jewelry. But many of them don't know that these valuables can be protected through renter's insurance. While renter's insurance is not offered directly through the university, there are a wide range of companies that students can choose from to protect their dorm room. University officials say they encourage all students to check into this type of service.
But it's really about protecting your personal property so that should it be lost, stolen, or damaged, that it can be replaced.
Some students think renter's insurance could be beneficial, while others think it's a waste of money.
The sprinklers go off or anything, computers are in the room, electronics go out. Obviously, it's not my fault. I think somebody should have to cover it. Some form of insurance should be there.
It doesn't do you any good. If you've got something of that big of value that you brought with you to the dorms, it's your fault if it gets stolen.
Renter's insurance protects a student's property from fires, floods, and even theft.
There's a lot of coverage that comes with it that a lot of people don't realize, so it's just a good thing to have for the minimal amount of cost.
If a student's parents have homeowner's insurance, that policy may cover their dorm room for no additional cost. If not, renter's insurance plans are available for as low as $10 a month.
Tomorrow, one of USD's fraternities is hosting a fundraiser to benefit children's cancer research. Pi Kappa Alpha will present the 17th annual Thursday Night Live. It's a sketch comedy event to raise money for Cure Kids Cancer, an organization dedicated to pediatric cancer research. Last year, Pike raised more than $3,500 for Cure Kids Cancer through various events. Thursday Night Live will take place at 7 in Al's Auditorium and is open to the public.
From concerts to magicians to open mic nights and even inflatables in the muck, USD holds a wide variety of activities for students to participate in. This week, we asked students what their favorite events are that USD hosts.
I don't really know. I don't really have a favorite.
I don't even know events. Football games.
I haven't been to too many events. The choirs.
Muck bingo and karaoke night.
Ones with the free food, just like Rush. Big fan of that.
Enjoy the football games.
Only the football games, by far.
I really like the athletic events, like the football games.
Football games.
Football games.
Probably the USD football games because.
Mine would have to be the football games.
Probably like the football games.
Favorite events to attend is a football game?
Going to the football games.
Probably the karaoke nights.
I love to watch Ultimate Frisbee and play it as well.
It would be basketball games.
Probably open mic night or karaoke nights.
Sporting events are the best.
The shows here because I'm in musical theater, so y'all should come see the shows here.
On this week's Show Report, Coyote News' Jelan Doom took a look at how USU's smoking ban has affected university students as well as owners of private property.
The USD campus has enjoyed a smoke-free environment for nearly a year, but at first, the only alternatives for those who continued to smoke was to leave campus entirely. When the smoking ban went into effect in January, one concern for students and faculty was the lack of smoking-permitted areas and trash receptacles for cigarette butts on campus. The initial reaction was for people to cross the streets surrounding campus to smoke, oftentimes leaving their butts in private lawns and driveways. But this semester, people are kicking that habit. USD senior Alina Lauber lives on Dakota Street across from the Newharth building. She says she hasn't noticed any problems of people leaving campus to smoke on her property.
Well, honestly, I haven't seen any problems in our street or anything. I haven't seen anyone come across the street that I haven't known smoking. I haven't seen any cigarette butts out on the lawn or any evidence of people leaving campus to come smoke here.
Sergeant Dean Tompkins Searcy says UPD hasn't received one complaint this semester from Vermilion residents due to the smoking ban. In fact, many students believe the ban could be reducing the number of smokers altogether.
I think it actually has improved because thinking back to it, I haven't seen anyone smoking around the area at all this year. So it must be helping.
So whether students are finding alternatives to smoking on private property or kicking the habit altogether, the smoking ban seems to be making an impact. For the Yote Report, I'm Jelan Doom.
Coming up after the break, junior Nicole Seacamp earns a Summer League honor for the second time in her basketball career, and find out what the Coyote Crazies have planned for this weekend's football game. Stay with us.
Always there for you. Coyote News, Wednesday, live at 5.
Tonight on Coyote Sports, the women's basketball team splits a pair in California. And sports commentator Malachi Peterson might only be a freshman, but he's ready for the rivalry with SDSU. I'm John Weatherington.
And I'm Erica Arpan. The men's basketball team falls short in New York, and the football team loses a close one in the Dome. But first, the headlines. Caitlin?
Just a few games into Derrick Rose's return, and he suffers a hamstring injury in the fourth quarter against the Cleveland Cavaliers Monday night. Rose had 16 points before leaving the game. Rose says it's just a minor sprain, nothing bad. The leg will be reevaluated, and Rose is expected to play Friday at Toronto. College basketball is just getting underway, but Tuesday night was full of big matchups. In the first game of the Champions Classic in Chicago, number 1 Kentucky faced off against number 2 Michigan State. Michigan State had a big lead at halftime, but Kentucky fought back. It wasn't enough, and the top-ranked Wildcats fell 78-74. In the second game, number 4 Duke took on number 5 Kansas. Duke and Kansas each have one of the top high school players as freshmen this year, and it was a close game with multiple ties and lead changes. Kansas and Andrew Wiggins would eventually overpower Jabari Parker and the Blue Devils and take the win 94-83. And that's a look at what's new in sports.
The USD football team almost upset a nationally ranked opponent. The Coyotes hosted number 12 Montana in the Dakota Dome on Saturday. USD would force 3 interceptions from the Grizzlies during the game, including one by Aaron Swift that was returned 60 yards for a touchdown to give the Coyotes an early 7-0 lead. USD put up 14 points in the first quarter from the interception and a 38-yard run from Trevor Bauma. The Coyotes led 24-17 at halftime before Montana made a comeback in the fourth quarter. Kicker Miles Bergner would put the Yotes ahead by 3 with a field goal less than 2 minutes remaining in the game. But Ellis Henderson returned the kickoff 98 yards just moments later to give the Grizzlies the 31-27 lead. The Coyotes host in-state rival SDSU Saturday at 1 o'clock in the Dome.
For the second straight season, junior guard Nicole Seekamp has been named the initial Summit League Women's Basketball Player of the Week. Seekamp averaged 19 points and 6 rebounds as USD topped Cal State Fullerton Friday night and lost to UC Irvine Sunday. Seekamp also had 6 steals and put up 20 points against UC Irvine. The women's basketball team is on the road again in Ames tonight, taking on Iowa State.
Even though the men's basketball team fell to Canisius, senior Trevor Grews became the 11th player in program history to score 1,000 points and have 600 rebounds. Head coach Joey James says Grews deserves the honor, as he has been a 4-year starter for the team. James says he appreciates all the hard work Grews has put in as a Coyote. Grews gave the Coyotes the lead with a one-handed shot with 2 minutes to go, but a foul by the Coyotes with 5 seconds left sealed the win for Canisius.
USD students are preparing for Saturday's football game against SDSU. It's one of the biggest games of the season for the Coyotes, and the Dome is expected to be crowded. Coyote News' Kathleen Surrey is live in the muck with Coyote Crazy President Jared Emery to find out how the group's preparing for the rivalry. Kathleen.
Thanks, John. USD and SDSU haven't faced off in the Dakota Dome since 2003, and we're here to find out how the Coyote Crazies are gearing up for the big game. Thanks for being with us today, Jared. So what does the group have planned for Saturday?
Well, obviously we're going to be loud. We've been working on this one obviously for a while, focused on each game, but now it's finally come to the time to play for it. We got some props like we had before. We got signs. We're planning on being loud. Expect some roller coaster to come back and the wave. That was really fun before, so we just need to keep the fans involved as much as we can, make that place so hard to play. Hopefully Sumner's going to screw up some. They're going to be wasting timeouts and going to the ground. So.
Student tickets sold out in about 3 hours for the game. The stands are going to be packed. How do you think this is going to affect school spirit?
I think it's a big boost to school spirit. Clearly in our last 2 games, both teams that were ranked nationally, and honestly, we didn't think, some people thought we weren't going to even stand a chance, and both of them came down to the wire. This one, I have no doubts that the Coyotes are going to bring home a win. People have been, running to get their tickets, trying to buy them from other people as well, too. So I think school spirit's definitely been boosted by this game.
Thanks so much for talking with us today. Once again, that was Jared Emery, president of Coyote Crazies, and live from the muck, I'm Kathleen Surrey.
Thanks, Kathleen. On this week's sports commentary, Malachi Peterson talks the USD-SDSU rivalry coming to Vermillion this weekend.
Well, everyone, it's finally here. The famed State Week is upon us, and it's evident at USD. If you haven't seen the talk of it on your Twitter feed, you could have taken a nice stroll through the muck yesterday. Or not, because the mile-long line of student tickets would have impeded your path. But you know what? I love it. Though I love everything about USD, it's no secret that we don't have the football atmosphere that some of the larger conference schools have. But this week, the atmosphere in the Dome is going to be crazy. The facility seats just over 10,000 fans, and it's sold out. And it's not like the fans are going to be quiet in there. This hated rivalry will bring out the best in people. Now, I'm just a young yote myself, but trust me, I've heard plenty of stories about the rivalry. From people throwing carrots and dead jackrabbits from the student section onto the basketball court and football field, to even a cheerleader suffering a serious concussion after being hit by a 55-pound frozen coyote at a game. I guess things can get a little crazy, but that's expected with a 124-year-old in-state rivalry, right? Needless to say, I'm pumped. We've been waiting for this game for a long time, and it's finally here. So if you're lucky enough to have a ticket, I'll see you at the Dome on Saturday. And if you're not, you better be screaming at your TV like you're in a dome, cheering for the Yotes, of course. Oh, and for the record, USD football leads the series 50-49 with 7 ties. Let's make that 51 this weekend. For Coyote Sports, I'm Malachi Peterson.
Thanks, Malachi. After the break, do students believe in paranormal activity like aliens or UFOs? Plus, a look at your Facebook and Twitter responses. Coming up.
Excuse me, ma'am, what is this?
Obstacle course training. It's how we prepare our staff to get you the news first. Not bad. The Blonde. First to the news, first to you. The student's voice for 125 years.
Some people are being intrigued by the thought of aliens and UFOs, while others have a difficult time believing in unidentified flying objects or creatures from another planet.
On this week's Out and About, we asked students if they believe in aliens or UFOs and if they ever experience any abnormal activity.
No, they're not real. It's just a way for people to, no, they're not real. It's just a way for people to, explain the unexplained.
Yes, I watched Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and they were alien hunting, so that's why I believe they're real.
I don't know.
Well, I definitely believe in aliens because Lady Gaga just came out with a new song called Venus, and her main line is, "Take me to your planet."
Yes, I do, because I've seen them.
Hell no.
I wouldn't be surprised if they were.
What kind of a question is that? I believe in aliens and UFOs, but I don't know what to do with my hands. What do I do with my hands here?
I don't. I do believe that there could be life on other planets, but I only think it's bacteria, so.
It might be against my religion to believe in them, but I do.
No, because every evidence is so fake. I don't know. I don't believe it.
You know, it is what it is. If you believe in it, you believe in it. Hey, do your thing, people. That's what you do.
And now for your Facebook and Twitter responses. We asked whether students feel safe on campus and how the university could improve its safety precautions.
Jessie Slimberg says she feels semi-safe on campus, but there could be more lighting around campus and going to and from the dorms.
And Erica Swenson says USD has plenty of lighting, but some lights are dim and makes me feel like I'm walking in a horror movie.
Thanks for your responses. Be sure to like our Facebook page and to follow us on Twitter so you can respond to next week's question. A new copy of The Vlot hit newsstands today. Be sure to pick up a paper to read how USD is perceived in the state and across the nation, with input from students and alumni like Ted Munster. That story and many others can be found online on VlotOnline.com.
That's all for Coyote News. Don't forget to stay tuned on Channel 21 for the Cross Media Council's Coyotes vs. Jacks pregame special right now.
Thanks for watching. Have a great night, and we'll see you next time.